TJ, which one's that? Guy had some flair. Are we on? Back.
The guy had some flavor.
This is the moment that you and we have been waiting for since early February, the day the Super Bowl happened, and we are talking about Week 1, regular season of the 2013-2014 pro football season.
I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing.
Also known as the National Football League. Here we are. I'm Mickey. He's Joey. This is the Joey and Mickey Pro Football Show. We're going to give you our analysis and insight and predictions, in fact, about the Week 1 games. First game, September 5th, 2013. It's less than a month away. It's Thursday night. All eyes of football fans across the nation and around the world will be riveted to the television, where they will get to see the defending Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens, minus a couple of key players, traveled and played in the Mile High City against the Denver Broncos. I don't know, Joey. What can our fans expect? Oh, yeah. We'll get to that.
I think what they can expect is, first of all, everybody's going to be stoked, and will the game live up to what it gave us last year? That remains to be seen, because, simply put, the key players that you mentioned that the Ravens don't have anymore could certainly be the difference in that game and the contest that's going to happen there. I have to say, I see the Broncos. I see the Broncos not covering the spread, but I do see the Broncos winning that game for sure.
Well, the spread's 8.5, and it's a pretty fat spread for a defending Super Bowl champion to be that big an underdog. Missing from this year's team, defensive back Ed Reed, linebacker Ray Lewis, Anquan Bolden, wide receiver, right?
That's right.
Now they have the rest of them. The expectations clearly are for the Ravens to be weaker on defense because of the.
Well, there's a couple of more. There's a couple of more that I think are key.
Who's that?
You had Paul. Paul Kruger had his best year of all last year. Big offensive lineman who ended up getting traded. So there's another hole. There's another possible lack. In their offensive or defensive attack or protection, if you will. Joe Flacco getting paid a lot of money, as well as I do, that could make a lot of difference or not. Your theory usually is it doesn't, because nobody can live up to the top 5 paying contract for a quarterback.
Right. Players often have a down season right after they get the big juicy contract that they've been building toward and earning for the last several years. He did earn it. Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl winner, and now they're paying him a fortune. It's a tough act to follow from last year. I agree with you, Joey. I think the Broncos are going to win this game because they had that playoff game won last year, as we talked about. They let it slip away. They will come into this game focused, prepared. Expectations for the Broncos are very high this year, higher than they are for the Ravens, because they've got Manning and because they picked up Welker and because they've got most of last year's team in place. I see the Broncos winning this thing. Will they beat the 8.5 point spread? I don't think so, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Literally.
Right.
Will it be? Is it clearly one of the most exciting games of the week, if not the most exciting matchup? I think almost everybody that watches football, even if you just got out of a cave last year, would say yes, it is going to be. Here's my faith that I do have in John Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that he will put a good team out on the field. I just don't believe that with all the hits they took, so to speak, and all the players they either couldn't keep because of salary restrictions or they let go, I just do not see there being enough continuity, is really the word for me, from a Super Bowl team last year that it's going to be there and they're going to be able to pick up where they left off, so to speak. I think it remains to be seen. Now I will mention this: they almost lost another player, Mickey, that actually came back to the team because his trade didn't work out, and that's fullback Vontae Leach, who has been known for doing much of the blocking for Ray Rice and a lot of the success that he has as a running back.
Fortunate for them. fortunate for them.
Yeah. So we agree about that one.
They, of course, the Ravens switched defensive coordinators during the season last year, like, I don't know, for 2/3 of the way through the season, and it worked. I couldn't believe it. I didn't think you could switch to a new defensive coordinator, a new defensive plan,
Gutsy move.
literally during the season, in the second half of the season, and have it work. But it worked, and the advantage, they've had the whole offseason to deal with and adapt to the loss of Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, and more time with their defense than this defensive coordinator that came on board late last season. And from that point of view, they've had loads of preparation, and a lot of times what we see in the NFL is that when expectations are low, they exceed them. When expectations are high, they don't meet them.
One or two things are going to happen, which we've seen time and time again, in the NFL. This is really possibly either going to set the precedence for either one of these teams, or possibly both of these teams for the rest of the season, or it's not. They battled in the AFC West championship game last year, and you better believe there's revenge on the minds of all the Broncos players that played in that game. There is, and you better believe it, because normally other teams in the past, they have come out and they've even said that when you go back and you look at similar matchups where one team took one team in a playoff game or a Super Bowl game. It's all about revenge. Now for the Ravens, they're being tested about as hard as they can, aren't they? What do they say about Super Bowl teams when you go into the next season? You have a target on your back. You have a target on your back, Mickey.
Yeah, it's damn near impossible to repeat as Super Bowl champions. Of course, they don't have to do that. They're just trying to play a Week 1 game in Denver.
Yep.